Welcome back to the Green Energy Fourplex, folks. Between the lines today are your Moncton Hawks and the Fredericton Caps.
Some fresh faces with the stripes tonight.
A couple different officials tonight. We'll see how that goes. Caps are pretty hot as of late. They've been coming on strong here towards the second half of the season for sure. So it should be a battle today. Burnett and Rayfuse out of the lineup for the Hawks. Max Terrio called up to fill in. Off the draw, Caps take it, and they shoot that one right in right away. Richford behind the net. He lets that one go. Caps first on it. Now, Guedette gonna pick it up. As he hits Arsenault. Arsenault straight up, but just off the mark of Cormier as that one got deflected. They try it again. Arsenault tries to tip it up to Cormier. This one doesn't make it quite out. Caps content with just putting it in deep again. Not cleared at the line, and here's a chance for the Caps. Rolling in towards the net. And Moncton on their heels here early as the Caps just keeping it simple, getting it deep. Another battle in the corner. And finally the Hawks didn't like all of that, and they flick it down the ice. That'll be an icing, but at least we'll get some fresh bodies on for a fresh start.
A couple of chances to get the puck out there and couldn't connect on the second pass.
Well, last game we played was at the Willie O'Ree against the Caps. It was a 6-2 win for your Moncton Hawks, but it was a lot closer game than that. The game sort of got out of hand in the third period, but it was probably the hardest I've ever seen a team work, the Caps, that is. That's kicked in by McPherson. It's offside. A late call. Hawks didn't have time to clear, but it's whistled down. Caps are a young team. A lot of people in their lineup have really stepped up this year and pulled the team forward. Be interesting to see how they do next year as well with all these returning studs. Casey now tries to chip that one up to Cornette Patterson. And that's a little bump by McPherson. He gets away with one there, Tony, as he gave a little cross check just before he went and got that puck. He works hard. Now he's down in the corner. Casey picks it up, tries to center it out front. That goes off the side of the net. Caps come back the other way. Richard. It's checked by Millier there, stick check that is, and couldn't quite skate that one out the way he wanted to. Casey puts that in deep. Hawks go for a change. Caps now move through the neutral zone. And they get around Millier, and again, Richford the save. He had to come up big there as their player drove the net really nice. Getting around Big Millier, that doesn't happen very often. First look at Max Terrio. He's come up and played a few games with us. He's in the corner there, number 4. That one's chipped back in by Martin. Centered out front, but no Hawk player in sight. Terrio now behind the net. He tries to pass that one, but that one sneaks right through him. Martin now coming back hard. St. Clair up to Terrio. Terrio tries to feed it over to Robichaud. Robichaud picks it up after it hits a skate, puts it in deep, and they'll go for a change. Caps now behind the net. Up the wing. Tipped over to the middle, but Cormier was ready for that. He sends that in deep. Arsenault, first on puck, tries to center it out front. And Cormier just couldn't quite get in front of his defender. to get a good chance there. Agnew now has got to be quick. And he pokes that one up high. Now Cormier trying to get to that loose puck, sends it back to Boudreau. Boudreau back down low. Cormier back up high. And back low it goes behind the net. Now back out front, quick shot. Nice kick save there by Brewer. Hawks regroup in the neutral zone. Gaudette trying to get through. The door was left open. And here's an odd man rush for the Caps. Looking to shoot. Richford holds his ground. Gaudette was trying to gain that line and get it in deep. And I think at the last second he noticed the door was open. He almost went right through it. Had to be careful there.
Jesus.
Another opportunity the other way. Gaudette now through. Doesn't have many options now as he tries to hold it into the corner, wait for some help. Cornette Patterson in low to help out. That's reversed over and Gaudette tries to pin his man up. Stretch pass. Almost gave the Caps a breakaway, but just out of the reach. And so far in the first almost 5 minutes, it's been a couple good chances both ends, but Caps had the better of the two. Hawks able to win that draw. DDD pass over to Millier. Millier tries to send that through a bunch of bodies, but Brewer able to steer that aside. And now the Caps skate the line. They chip it in deep. And Richard's got to be careful. They tried to poke that one out to the front. But the Hawks able to contain them this time. That's in deep. Casey gets in. Help with McPherson behind the net. Caps grab that loose puck, but Richard comes in to try to hold the line. And Hawks almost had a good chance out front. Here's another chance for a breakaway, and that one's just off the stick of LaPointe, and that's an icing call. The Caps have just missed 2 breakaways. Had a partial breakaway. And almost another early on. So keep an eye out. Hawks able to win the draw. Back to the point, down low. Off a shin pad. And here come the Caps. That's Robinson laying the body. St. Clair over to Martin. Martin gets caught up with the ref, and the Caps able to come out with it. Only for a moment, as the Hawks were able to lay the body and get control as they enter down. There's Martin, tries to shoot it right on net. There was a bobble for a half a second. And great job by Robichaud to go straight to the net and look for some scraps, but Brewer able to pounce on that before Robichaud had any chance to poke that one in. Caps now behind the net. They lose control of the puck. And there's the Hawks in the center lane trying to make something happen. That puck gets shot in deep by Martin. He tries to force the Caps player into making a move they don't want to make. He almost catches it on the back end. Right back in it goes as the Hawks do a good job getting it deep before they make a change here. Agnew to Gaudette. Gaudette back to Agnew. Agnew goes up the boards, but off the mark, and that'll be an icing. Well, it's the early going moments, but the Hawks missing a couple passes here early. Energy looks about an 8 out of 10, I would say, Tony. As they're not flying and profiling at 100%. It doesn't look like it anyway. Hopefully they can catch their stride here. Here's a chance now as Arsenault takes it wide. He tries to send it back to Cormier. Cormier has that off his stick. But behind the net, they go up to Gaudette. Gaudette tries to send that through, but Everybody moved at the last second, and Brewer was easily able to see that. Caps are very opportunistic. You've seen it a couple times when those D step up. They're so elusive where they try to sneak it through the feet and catch it on the other end. Here's another chance where they're back checking hard, created an offensive rush here. At least control the puck in their own zone. That one's an icing. We talked about the struggles at home for the Hawks, but they were able to get 2 wins in their last 2 games at home, one on a Sunday, however. Friday nights have definitely been not their bread and butter, but they shook a monkey off their back against the Flyers a couple Fridays ago. Caps able to win it. They get it back to the draw, or back to the point, off the draw. Trying to feed that one. Looking for a tip. Casey knocks that one out. Second attempt gets it in deep. McPherson on the chase. He'll be the first at it as he puts it down low. And that one sneaks away as Millier came in and fired that loose puck towards the net, but that was off the mark. This time the Caps missed the mark. And there's another missed pass for the Hawks, and the Caps are able to walk in. They try to get a shot away, but great job there by Richard to step up into that play. Millier to McPherson, that's in the skates. And the Caps turn and fire it down the ice. Richard now, little giveaway there right in the front of the net. Little backhand, it's loose. Richard knocks it away. As again, Hawks a little too nonchalant here. That pass is on the mark as Cornette Patterson walks in. He doesn't get it in deep. But the Caps bring it in to reset. That gives the Hawks enough time to get a change in. That one's flicked in. And Caps able to pick it up on the other side. But the Hawks come back the other way. Here's Theriault. The call up puts that one on net. Rebound, looking for that rebound was a Hawks player. Again, Robichaud. Here's another battle along the boards. It's won by the Caps, but it just sneaks away from them. But that's one thing, we talked about it earlier, the Caps are so good at, it's just winning those battles while they go along the boards. And they've done it a few times to the Hawks here early. Hawks down low as Arsenault circles. Back up high. Agnew had to be careful there. There's a shot. That deflects right down. Another shot from a sharp angle as they tried to bank it off Brewer and in. Now they muck it up in the corner. As Gaudette's there down low, trying to shake that puck off the Caps stick. And here come the Caps trying to get an odd man rush as they get through, and that's offside at the last second, but great job there by the Caps moving their feet. But Arsenault recognized, and he came back hard to try to disturb whatever he could, maybe even causing the offside. Mullins now with a little flick. It's a couple times we've seen the cross ice flick where they try to put it up high and give their team a little bit more time to get in. There's a shot from the point, looking for a tip. Mullins on the other side fires it through. Richford has to slide into that one, make sure there's no rebound.
We'll keep an eye for that if that's something they want to keep doing on the dump in constantly. Part of their strategy to get on pucks.
Well, in the good old game of pickleball, on the return serve, you try to put it high and deep so you have a chance to run up to the kitchen line. There's a chance as Arsenault spring free. He's not free all the way, and he's not able to connect there. It's a great job by the Caps getting back. But here come the Caps coming back themselves with a shot on net. And the Caps just putting everything they can towards that net, looking for any kind of scraps. Here's another chance. And it's Cormier. And he fans on the puck. And his second dip. Chance goes up and over the net. Holy moly. Another chance out front. No, Arsenault playing with it. Gonna get it in. No. Hit some bodies on the side of the net. I don't know if it went off Brewer first. And there's the Hawks with 3 amazing looks. Unfortunately, unable to capitalize on any as they get snake bitten here at home with the goals. There's a turnover by Cornette Patterson. The Caps able to sneak it around the boards. That one goes off some shin pads and almost given right back. As again, teams unable to make clean passes or dump-ins at times, and it's creating some odd man rushes here for both teams. Millier from the point, straight on. Brewer pokes that aside. Casey now, he gets stick checked, and big backhand down the ice by the Caps. And that'll be on goal, so no icing, but a stretch pass up to McPherson. McPherson tries to drop it for Casey, but he gets stick checked, and here come the Caps. Oh no, there's a penalty coming up. I'm not sure who this is coming to, but it looks like
Cornette Patterson for head contact on the hit.
Caps gonna go on the power play. Caps like to get it up to the point and walk into about the ringette line and fire pucks as they look to move it also to the top of the far circle dot and fire it from there. We'll see if they get set up here. The Hawks have been good. Here's Casey now trying to get a run. Can he get in front? He's gonna have to use his body, and he tries to throw that upstairs. He did all he could to hold that man off. That's a great opportunity and a great job by Casey to at least get a half-decent attempt there. Here's another attempt. Brewer has to come out and play that. Smart play by the goaltender. If not, he would have had 2 Hawks all alone in front of the net. Levesque being harassed by St. Clair. He drops it back. And they try to hit the far guy on the opposite side. Back up to the point. D-to-D pass. And here they go, looking for the chance to walk in. A give and go, but that's knocked away. And that's reversed back. St. Clair's going to be first to it. He overskates it, and Robinson picks it up the other end. He's going to hold it into his skates, try to kill some valuable time, but great job there by the Caps. And the Hawks had a chance to clear that one, but they don't. And here comes the Caps looking for something, but that puck just sneaks away. And now Casey's got a player on his back. Looks like he's riding him like a horse. And his second attempt, able to clear it down the ice. Finally, the Hawks able to get a change.
And Casey had a skate go on his leg there. Don't look any worse for wear, but those are the scary ones.
Caps skate this one in, put on the brakes, right back up high, but that puck jumps up, but not out as Robichaud trying to get to it on the wrong side. Here they are walking in, another chance up high, but that's knocked away by Robichaud. Great active sticks here by the Hawks. Can they keep it up? As this one comes back up to Mullins. There it is, that's where they look for that shot, and it goes off the crossbar. I talked about it earlier. They try to feed it up to the point and find that guy in between the dot and the ringette line and fire that puck, and that one didn't miss by much. Richford lucky there as his crossbar saved him. Teams are back to 5-on-5. The penalty's over, thank goodness. Caps are pressing here. The Hawks had their chances. Caps able to win that one. They send it through a bunch of bodies, but that's wide. Boudreau now. He puts it in. And that one's smothered as it comes off the boards to Brewer. Hawks able to win the draw. They turn and fire it in deep. Arsenault trying to catch it on the other side, but that sneaks away from him, and here come the Caps. Caps, chip and go. Gudet gonna try to bump his man off the puck, but two guys down low, and the Caps able to win that battle as they get it up high, looking to go through some bodies, but it looked like McLeod was trying to fire that puck right away, and it sort of snuck off his stick. A little giveaway here as Arsenault tried to find Boudreau, but Boudreau didn't think Arsenault was going to get there in time, so he stopped skating. And that just sort of passed in front of him. Richard to Cormier. Cormier puts it in deep. Hawks go for a change. Right there, Tony, I would have liked to seen a hit by Casey there. You just came fresh on the ice. You got the 2D that were stepped up right to the blue line there, holding everybody in deep. And when that pass was made to the boards, that would have been a good opportunity to be physical. Hasn't been too physical here tonight. That one right off the draw sneaks to Brewer, and he'll pounce on that. Oh, that one's won cleanly, but just sent out. And now the Hawks try to make that pass and get right back in, but that's off the mark. And the Caps coming back the other way. That one's sent in about 2 feet before the line, but they allow that one not to be an icing. The linesmen are giving them a couple feet both ways here, as a few of them could have been counted. Here's a shot on net. Richford puts that aside. Casey trying to get to it first, but he's got nobody. It's just him. Can he hold him off? Tries to fire one. Nice shot there as he tried to go low. Robinson back under pressure as he puts on the brakes and goes back the other way. Chips it up to McPherson. McPherson fires it all the way over to Casey, but Casey just a little too far, and that's picked off by the Caps, but offside. .324 to go, Tony. Both teams just seem like they're not going 100%, but they're both matching each other's tempo. Not necessarily a bad game, but just not the fastest and hardest we've seen both of these teams go at.
Yeah, March break this weekend, so you wonder what the boys have been up to, and if there's any rust or fatigue or...
Couple passes just off the mark, just small little things, but it's going on both sides here, so both teams just hoping for a couple more breaks so that they can take advantage of it. Richford now back to stop that one, had to take a second look. Here's what shot from the point. No, that would have been a great opportunity to shoot that one, but the defenseman of the Caps didn't like what he seen, and he tried to put it back in deep. St. Clair gives that one away. Here's a chance. Oh, that one's just up and over the bar. We've seen that happen about 3 or 4 times now, where the Hawks have given that puck away in their own zone, right on the stick of the Caps. Brewer back to play that one. Now down low. Gudet. It's on the brakes, tries to fire one through, it's tipped. There's a loose puck, but nobody could get there. And Gudet has to turn back. He's going to try to catch the Caps on a couple changes here. Odd man rush. Let's see, here he is. Oh, it snuck through Brewer, but it just missed. It went out the far side. Out front, and the swing and a miss by the Hawks. And now the Caps able to get it out as again they elude up the boards but not free. As Miller tried to sneak in. Here's Arsenault. Arsenault's got Corby on the far side. Brewer able to get that interception as the Caps player able to knock that pass down.
But it came off the ice gingerly there after that rush. Went into the end boards a bit. Hopefully nothing serious.
Hawks looking to get that loose puck off the draw finally. As Cornett Patterson was looking to shoot, but that windup took a little too long and he was stripped of the puck. This one sneaks out to the middle and the Caps player able to fire that on the net. And Milia needs to be careful as that referee seems to be always in the way. There's McPherson, Cornett Patterson, and Casey. Nobody driving the net. Easy save for Brewer. There's a simple play where you're in the last minute of the game. You had the triangle set. You had McPherson wide, but nobody drove the net. In late was Casey. He could have been your up high guy, but we need Patterson to go to the net on those opportunities to try to draw those defensemen down deep. There's the far corner dump in again. Caps able to keep it in. They fire to the other corner. 15 seconds to go here. Robinson's going to have to make a play up the boards. Another giveaway as the Hawks get lucky there. And Mullins has to retreat. He just fires one on goal. And that'll do it for the first. Chances at both ends. Hawks nearly had a couple breakaways, just unable to capitalize. And the Caps mucking their way towards the net, unable to capitalize on a couple with the crossbar. Other than that, good game back and forth. We'll see you in about 10. Start second. We're back here for the second period. Hawks able to win the draw. Shot right on net, and Brewer just pounces on that. Didn't quite have it as he was sliding a little bit, but he had enough time to cover up. Won by the Caps, wrapped all the way around to Weir. He tries to chip it up to his man. One-on-one battle as they try to go around. And that one's offside. Yes. It's a back and forth affair. Who's gonna strike first? Caps try to pump that one in, but that one's stopped by Cadet at the line. And the Caps overskate that one. Luckily they could catch it on the other side. Try to feed that one through, but that skips off. Cadet overskates that for a second. He's back at it though. Tries to move that up the boards. Now Arsenault's got a little room to skate. He drops it back for Cormier. Cormier has a lane to walk in. He gets a beauty away, but great job by Brewer staying on his feet there. There's another shot, and that's scooped up by Brewer. Me, myself, and I have a background in the goaltending as I help out with the goaltenders over the past couple of years, and I love how Brewer holds his edges and he stands up to make saves when the shots are far out. It's one thing I talked to Jaden about. But Brewer has done it a few times just in this game. As he shows poise in the back of the net. Here come the Caps now, looking for an odd man rush. Can they get around? They use their speed. Nicely try to send that out front. They sort of put on the Jets when they go down the boards. And they've almost snuck through a couple times on our D. So they're gonna have to be careful and make sure they get enough of that body to slow their man down, because the Caps are coming in hard. That one's chipped back. And now back down low. Back and forth affair here in the corner, and finally the ref calls a hand pass.
Outside face off.
Caps win the draw. They flick it in. That high flick again, Tony. They got possession here down low, but Hawks do a great job as Robichaud came down low to help out. Just as I say that, Caps player get a little support and they're able to keep it down low again. There's a little room for Sinclair to move the puck out. Martin chips it in. That's wrapped around but not out as the Hawks turn and fire it back in deep. Martin coming in, he lays the body. Chipped up the wing. Cross ice now as Caps enter into the zone as they try to go left to right there on Robinson. That's wrapped all the way around. Arsenault's trying to chip it out to Robinson. Robichaud finally trickles that out. Sinclair now back behind the net. He's got lots of time here. He nails Martin. Martin just flicks that one up, but not sure what the tactic was there. Finally, in deep, Hawks get a change. Stretch pass attempt coming, but Cadet jumps up in front of that. Agnew now behind the net. He's under duress. He had to make a quick pass there, a little quicker than he wanted to. It's all working out here as Boudreau comes down, quick shot. And Brewer able to get his glove on that, stop any rebound. Hawks win the draw. Agnew chips that down low. Arsenault kicks it up. Little pass here, backhand scores! What a play! Arsenault able to kick it over to Cormier. Cormier finds Boudreau out front. Boudreau puts it to the back of the net.
We're on the board, Jamie.
Big hit there by Boudreau as he just scores a goal and lays a big hit in the shift after. It's poked around. Cadet's going to have to be quick, but Caps able to get to it, but Cadet's back with it, trying to chip that out. Goes off the shin pad and out. Boudreau looking for the quick bounce off his shin pads. And the puck's just bouncing around here. And both teams trying to create a little momentum for themselves. Ref blows that one down real quick. Another hand pass. Now it's going to come outside again. Gets caught up in the wingers. Right off the draw, that one sort of snuck across the blue line. Hawks get it in deep, but no one sneaks through Richard, but he's able to get back. Now Casey, he's under a little duress. He just sends that one back the other way. A lot of icings here in the early on, Tony.
Yeah, first period too.
Draw one by the Caps, but unable to make the pass to their D-man, and here comes Casey trying to come bearing down on that one. Richard tries to poke that one away. Well, the Caps enter the zone. Try to drop that one back, but that one sneaks out of the line. McPherson up to Casey, has that hop over his stick. Caps off the boards, but not out as Richard comes crashing down, but ends up jumping out of the way as he was going to crash into one of the Caps players, ends up falling himself. Millier now fires one from the line, tip. There's McPherson trying to get around, fires it off shin pads, another shot. He tried to pass that one over to Casey, I think, but that one got knocked down. There's a little chip up and ahead. Millier trying to hold his man off, and he's able to do so. Now, the opposite corner, puck gets shot in deep. Caps are going to go for a change. Millier going to have a little time here to get his north-south bearing. Sent in. Hawks go for a change. Caps now looking for the stretch pass. Here come the Caps now in the corner looking for an option. There's a shot through traffic, and that goes wide off a skate. Now from the corner, Caps trying to walk out with it. That one sneaks off the stick. And Martin trying to feed it through and catch it on the other side. St. Clair puts it in deep. Theriault, a little backhander to keep that one down low. Robichaud trying to apply a little pressure. Nice stretch pass up. St. Clair able to hold his man off. Caps come with a second guy, but St. Clair able to hammer him. Well, goes off the side of the net there as Hawks had to be careful. Martin chips that one in. Brewer out to play it. He wraps it around. Arsenault has a good chance here to lay the body. He's able to strip that puck away momentarily, but Martin comes in for the bump. And the Caps looking to drop that one back, and they're working away into the promised lands, but off a stick or something, as the Caps found themselves in a prime scoring chance, but somehow that puck didn't make it through to the net. Agnew passes that one over to Guedette. Guedette sends that one up. Caps now have that one ricochet off a stick. Now Mullins retreats back, finally sees an opening for a pass, and here come the Caps with a head of steam, looking to cut to the middle. That one goes off the side of the net, but they are the first ones back, try to center it out front. That gets knocked away by Richford. Now Arsenault dangles one, tries to feed it over to Boudreau. Not just a little bit too far ahead of him. Guedette now behind the net. Chips that one up to Arsenault. Arsenault to Cormier. Cormier being stick checked everywhere, left and right. And Agnew is just going to put that one in deep. Give a chance for the Hawks to get the rest of their guys off the ice for a change. Caps now doing a great job moving that puck through the neutral zone, trying to create space. They do such a good job coming in and then shifting their body weight and cutting across ice. It's giving them a few opportunities for a couple good looks. They're elusive as their D-man walks into the corner, but overskates that one and right back to the... Oh, that one went through a couple bodies, but Richford able to find that and steer it aside. That's kept in by the Caps. Caps flick it in. Now McPherson. He's stripped of the puck. They walk right out. Rich for the save. And here's the Caps again firing it, but blocked by Millier. The Caps are looking impressive right here, but McPherson able to push that puck out. Now Richard, stretch pass up to Casey. Casey gets driven to the boards. Caps looking for a stretch pass of their own. Can they get it? Oh, just off the mark. As they get tangled up. Here they come again. As St. Clair tries to hold his man off. Pass comes across. Quick shot, Richard save. And the Caps now, a nice little move there, but McPherson, a little slash, but it was on the stick. Ref's doing a good job so far this game. Allowing the players overall to play. Nothing major's happened that we've seen anyway. Here's McPherson now trying to feed that through and catch Casey on the other side. Casey driven to the boards. Two-man on him. Now Robichaud tries to bump his man off the puck. Two Caps back there. Martin comes in to help out. Martin able to put his man to the boards, but they're holding his stick. Here come the Caps looking to the far side. As great job by the call-up Theriault to skate back hard and take his man. Not allow him to get a shot on net. That one's flicked up.
Into the bench.
It's a player as he was going into the bench. Another weird pop-up. Theriault now trying to work it in deep. St. Clair jumps in. He's down low, tries to feed that out front. That goes off a skate. He sends it back in deep, gets back to the line. Cormier. Back up to Agnew. Agnew. Not many options there. He tries to send it back down low. Cormier has that one deflect off a stick and out of play. Cormier wins the draw. Boudreau up to Agnew. Agnew through a screen tip. And Brewer able to kick the pad out last second on that one. Here comes Mullins now, looking for some steam, but good backhand up high. As the Caps pick it up below the goal line. Chipped up the boards and now up high. There's to feed that through a bunch of bodies. Puck's loose for a half a second as the Hawks went to clear that one, but got stick checked at the last second. Caps almost able to catch it on the other side. Game is picked up a little bit here now as Caps are skating hard, trying to create a little offense. Here's another shot. Richford able to pop that one to the side. Caps now with a reverse. Down low, but Gaudette first on it. Puts on the brakes. Turns around and fires, but here comes Mullins. Catch it on the other side. Shot from a sharp angle. Wraps all the way around and out. Levesque now under duress by Arsenault. He turns and fires. Boudreau, if he would have stayed on the ice for a half a second, might have had a chance to just walk right in. Hawks get a change, looking for the stretch pass. And it's Richard all alone. Odd man rush. Richford, another bad change by the D. We've seen this all year long here at home. And they almost get caught as Richard had a 2-on-1 against him. Cycling back, the Caps do now. Breaking out with some steam passes off the mark. Millier now able to juke his man, looking for the stretch pass to Casey. And that's a late icing call, but icing nonetheless.
Both goalies having to be sharp here tonight, Jamie.
Well, lots of shots coming through traffic. Couple good saves by both goalies there to get their eyes somehow on the puck. Couple great chances out front. Just unable to get wood on it for the Caps, but they're so elusive as they move. Right here's another chance, and that one's knocked down. Rebound, loose puck. Picked up by the Hawks. Millier is in there with about 4 Caps players. That's up to Casey. Casey one-on-one, tries to fire.
Oh!
Whoa! What a snipe!
That's a bar down, Jamie.
And like I was saying earlier, Brewer did the right thing. He didn't even go down on that. That was just such a nice shot. It caught the crossbar in the right spot. And fortunate for the Hawks, that one goes in because the Caps had a same look earlier. But the Hawks got lucky and that one went on the top side of the bar. If we go back and look at that one, it's possible that Casey could have just used the Caps player as enough of a screen to fool everybody.
Hard to stop regardless.
Casey down low. Casey's under duress. But that one pops up to Richard. Quick shot. Brewer steers that aside. Now along the boards, that's chipped out. Nice little play there by the Caps, looking to take advantage of that. Richford will pounce on that.
This is reminiscent of our last game against these guys, Jamie, where, like you mentioned earlier, was close a long way throughout the game. Still close again tonight. Let's see if we can pull away here or not.
Well, there's been a lot of games here Friday nights that have been close for sure. Shot from the point, deflected. Just up and over. There's another one that's kept in by the Caps. Sent in low. Nice pass there as Martin now just overskates it, but catches it on the other side. Able to put that in deep. That's wrapped around. St. Clair comes in and knock that towards the net, but Brewer will glove that down and take a face-off. Caps able to win that draw back, but Hawks go straight through off the draw and able to steal that puck. Now, up to St. Clair through some traffic. Good save there by Brewer as he gets a foot on that. Robichaud throwing the body, trying to keep that down low. St. Clair comes in. Robichaud able to chip that one in deep. Caps got some time here. They go up the boards. Looking for that stretch pass across. No, it's that high arcing dump in. We'll call it the pickleball return here, Tony, for the remainder of this game. St. Clair under duress here as he's got 1-on-2. Robichaud is going to come down and help him out. Flicks that over to Martin. Martin going to try to get around his man. Can he? Yes! Martin looking for a shot. Brewer not sure. He knew it was close, and that one almost snuck through.
Good burst of speed there.
Hawks doing a much better job on the draw so far in this game. There's another win there, but straight through everyone. Chipped in by Guedette. That one's kept in momentarily by Boudreau, but he lost it in his skates, and nice little job going around. And there's a goal. We've seen it all night long. Those forwards are just able. That's about the third time we've seen that same play. They go around the D. They take the D's lane away and cross over the goalie. This time it works. And the Caps get on the scoreboard, and they're within one. That's a power forward goal right there. That's how you play the game of hockey. You don't have to be skilled, you just gotta be strong and hard on the puck. Little skill doesn't help as well, but if you got those working hard and skating hard effects, it'll definitely help you. This one gets caught up as they get lost. Caps got a little juice now. They've had some juice for the last little bit, but unfortunately went down a couple goals. But let's see if this one rejuvenizes them. Looking for the stretch pass off the mark. Another draw won by the Hawks. Quick shot off the blocker and out of play. Another draw won by the Hawks, but that one goes straight through and picked up by the Caps. And now they try to center that one, but that one off the skate behind the net and around the boards. Caps able to hold that in. Millier behind the net, and the Hawks have to be careful there. Richard now looking for some room to get that out. Not cleared, and here's a chance as they walk through. Oh, that one didn't miss by much. That one centered out front and off the boards, but not out. Looks like the Caps are swarming now, looking for anything. Richford blocker sandwiches that one aside. Another quick shot They're throwing everything towards the net, looking for anything they can. And I don't blame them. Nice back check there by the Caps. As they've turned up the Jets here in the last little bit. Stretch pass, that takes a hop. That'll be an icing call, but they're using their speed to confuse the Moncton Hawks here now. Big hit, but it's late. And it looks like they're gonna go back to the box. And this is a great opportunity now for the Caps to even this game up. After the Hawks took control, it's the Caps that are on the power play as Moncton penalizes themselves again with a hit that shouldn't have happened. Caps able to win the draw, back up to Mullins. Mullins a little reverse. Let's watch and see if the Caps do that similar move where they look for that man. You can see 21 lining up right there all alone. Hawks doing a good job holding them down low. St. Clair doing his best to hold that, kill off some valuable seconds. And he's the one that comes out with it. He fires that around the boards and out. Hawks get in a change. It's Arsenault and Boudreau now out there with Agnew and Gaudette. And the Caps try to fire that in. They hit their own man. And Moncton picks up the loose puck. Sends that down the ice. 20 seconds to go in this period. Caps gonna try to enter the zone one more time. Get set up quickly. Here's a chance as they walk in and they shoot that up and over the net. Nobody taking the body. Free lanes here. And that'll do it for the second period, but the Hawks are gonna have to get a little more physical with these players as a little side juke tends to pull them one way, and it's been working. Well, the Hawks get up 2, and the Caps able to get one late. They'll remain on the power play for the next 24 seconds in the third, but we'll take a 10-minute breather and we'll see you in the third. And we're back for the third period. Caps still on the power play for 24 seconds. It's a one-goal game. It's far from over. That's pushed in by the Hawks. McPherson trying to create a little disturbance on Agnew. Agnew just pins him down, puts a stick right over top of his head. He allows that. When in Rome. Good job there by Casey as he tries to chip that one out, and he's able to get that out. Moncton back to 5 men. Draw is so crucially important on power plays, especially in the last 30 seconds. Win a draw and you can set up a lot more quickly, but if you lose it, you're killing off 15 to 20 seconds minimal. Another icing, Tony. You need that delay a game penalty. After 5, you go to the box. Caps win the draw, but Arsenault sneaks it away behind the line. There's a shot for the point. And that's deflected into the corner by Brewer. Cormier now keeps that in, sends it around. Arsenault picks it up on the other side. Puck sneaks away from him. Richard whiffs on that one. And Caps able to get it in deep. Richford looking a little shaky behind the net there. He didn't keep his head up. You need to communicate with your players. Tell them what you see before you go behind that net. Arsenault chips that to Cormier. Cormier puts that low on net. And that's reverse back up high, but nobody there. St. Clair, stretch pass, tipped up there. Arsenault, but just off the mark. Arsenault tries to chip that over to Cormier. Cormier back down to Arsenault. 2 guys collapse on him. Cormier tries to take a sharp shot there, almost caught Brewer off guard. Back up to the point. St. Clair didn't want to shoot that one, and that one squirts away from him as he overlooked it. Just get that on your stick and throw it on net. Hawks have scored a few goals in the last little bit at home. We talked about the shots from the point being tipped and loose rebounds, but we haven't done that today. Another penalty coming up here. Both refs have their hands in the air. They come together, make sure they got the same player. The Caps aren't sure who is being called as nobody's going to the box. Finally. Well, the Hawks, great opportunity here as they get their first power play of the game. The Caps have been pressing. A goal here would definitely be nice. But Casey under a little duress. He's stripped, chipped in, down low. There's Richard now as he enters the zone, looking for a little room. He loses an edge and goes down. McPherson in there with Richard banging away at it. That's finally poked out by Richard. It's chipped up the boards but not out. St. Clair down low. St. Clair in the middle. Fire that one through off the mass. It's loose. Picked up by the Caps and sent down the ice. St. Clair with a little room to skate. He moves it up to Boudreau. Boudreau to Arsenault. Gets mixed up in his skates. Finally settles it down. Now behind the net. To Cormier. Back to Arsenault. Arsenault trying to find Cadet. Sneaking in. But guess what? Here come the Caps. on an odd man rush. And they fire one towards the net. Richford gloves that down. Cormier picks it up on the other side. The Caps didn't press too hard for that one, just a shot on net. That one's going to take a bounce up and over the boards. Just under 30 seconds to go here. That one's shot in and around. Millier picks it up on the other side. Millier down low. Millier able to walk out and fire that, but no, he goes back up. I thought he was going to walk Tony. So he could have hammered that one. There's a shot by Gadet, but Cormier jumps in the way and blocks the shot down. There was a lane for a half a second. This will do it for the power play. As Caps are back out. Shot from a sharp angle by Arsenault. So the first power play for the Hawks, unable to capitalize, and that keeps us caught up here in a 1-goal game. Caps down low. Robichaud gets hammered off the puck. We've seen that throughout a lot of this game. The Hawks are just a little bit too soft in their own end especially, and the Caps just coming in with some thunder, but here's a chance. Can the Hawks send that one out? As Theriault was crashing towards the net, I don't think Martin even seen him. Martin tried to force that one from the corner. Here come the Caps, skating hard. Robinson trying to hold him at bay. Nice little stop and go there as they try to feed that one back out front. And now along the boards, the Caps working hard to get it. They do. Send that one across. Here's a shot through traffic. Richford finds that one. And the Caps just out working the Moncton Hawks here now. Coming hard with a little bit more force, a little bit more juice.
A little bit of energy off of that penalty kill, which happens sometimes.
That one escapes by Mullins. An odd man rush for Moncton. Can they get it across? No, they can't feed that one through. As Casey was trying to find Arsenault. Here's Richard. Walks straight in. Nice save by Brewer. Makes it look easy. Standing on those edges again, Tony. That one's wrapped around and Richard goes into pinch, but that's through. And that one's
Inadvertent high stick there.
picked up, dumped in by Richard. And now, looks like, oh, there's a chance! What a chance! As that puck was on the back of the net. I don't know how McPherson got that off, but he sent that right out front. And that was a glorious chance by the Hawks. Unable to put that one away. Caps get some speed. Gonna get around their player again? No, they missed the puck. There's a little slash to the shin pads, but Richard says no problem. Casey now in the corner. Hawks gonna have to be careful with these blind centering passes, allowing the Caps to break free. As here they are again, looking for a shot. That sails up over the net. Cormier now all by himself. It's on the brakes, fires that one up high. Arsenault trying to wiggle his way through. And he throws one on net, and Brewer easily stops that. Hawks gonna have to be smart here and pick their chances, trying to force another goal. Maybe the dagger that kills them. There's a draw win shot, deflected. That one's knocked out of the zone, but the Hawks come right back. As that one's put in deep. Arsenault now. Boudreau down to Arsenault. Arsenault behind the net. He puts it up high to St. Clair. St. Clair over with a little chip shot. That just misses the net. Arsenault trying to get to it. Caps pick that up off the boards. And Robinson does a good job here, but there's a man out front. Oh, St. Clair had to be crafty there to get his skates involved to block that centering pass. As two Caps were all alone.
That's interference.
Guedette now angles his man nicely. Robinson does the same. Robichaud, that is. Unable to get that puck out as the Caps looking for an opportunity here. Along the boards, they cycle back. Four-man scramble. Robichaud digs that one out, sends that all the way around. Boudreau going to be a little too late, and the Caps able to hold that in. They've just been harder on loose pucks than the Hawks, and this one may come back to haunt them if they don't get this puck out. Caps still in control here as they cycle it down low. That one's knocked down by Robichaud, and finally down the ice. Here come the Caps as they drop that one back. Martin tries to chip that out. The second attempt comes out, so that'll give them a little breathing room here. As Guedette now comes through. He gets a hook all the way around him. Ref's gonna call that one. So the Hawks are gonna go back to the power play, but this is up to Millier. Quick shot, glove down by Brewer. And as long as there's nothing after this whistle, your Hawks should be back on the power play. Looks like the Hawks are going to take a time out here with 10:18 to go in the final period, as the Hawks look to set something up to hopefully get that extra goal to give them a little breathing room, because the Caps are breathing down their throats. Big draw here, cleanly won by the Hawks. But the Caps do such a good job getting up there. They're gonna be the first on this puck. Look at them moving and grooving, and the Caps able to kill off some valuable time by just moving their feet. That was a clean draw one, but the Caps got up there so quick, they almost got the puck out, but they gave it right back. But in the second attempt, they were able to clear it just by moving their feet and working a little bit harder. That one shot through, right on, steered aside, now along the boards. A little reverse to Cormier. That one's up to Guedette. Guedette's got a chance to feed that to Arsenault. Arsenault, nobody in front of the net. Brewer easily sees that one, and if you're gonna shoot from above the ringette line, you better get some bodies in front of the net. Another win by the Hawks. Caps doing a good job. Here's a shot through again. Brewer able to easily find that. And then another whistle. Guedette able to poke that one down low. Hawks again. They'll have some room to set up. Millier over to Guedette. Guedette to Millier. Millier fires, and that's off the target. Guedette's in there to pick it up. He gets it over to Cormier, back up to Millier. Nobody in front of the net except Boudreau. Finally, Arsenault moves in, looking for some loose change. Guedette down low to Arsenault. Arsenault, Cormier back up to Millier. Millier to Cormier. Cormier fires that in again, right in the breadbasket. So 3 shots right in the middle of the crest for Brewer, and you'll take that any day on the power play, but the Hawks do a good job moving the puck around. Just need to get a little bit more traffic or stand in front of the goalie. Even if it hits you, Tony, the goalie's down, you pick up the rebound that's loose, put it in. Sometimes it doesn't have to go off the goalie for the rebound. It can go off you as well, but you got to stand in front of the net the whole time. Caps able to get this one down the ice. That'll do it for the power play as last 10 seconds. By the time they set something up and get it down ice, Caps will be back to 5-on-5. Annette Patterson offside, 2 seconds to go. So the Hawks unable to score for the second time on the power play tonight. Both teams held off the board on the power play. Both had 2. St. Clair over to Robinson. Robinson in deep. That one takes a weird little bounce, but picked up by the Caps. Back to 5-on-5. McPherson now. He gets bumped off the puck. There's a good chance for Cornette Patterson to lay the boom there. They both elected to move out of the way from one another. St. Clair puts that in deep. Casey doing a great job as he battles towards the boards to try to get that loose puck. Cornette Patterson trying to pick up that one that just sneaked out to the side. And here come the Caps trying to get around. Big hit there by St. Clair. On the other side, Caps player. Nice job there as Richard comes over to protect the house and send that out of play. Caps win a draw cleanly. D-to-D pass, shot, tipped, right on, deflected into the corner by Richford. Back up to the point, through traffic. Richford finds that. And here come the Hawks. But great job there. Back checking are the Caps. And the Caps get that in deep. Richard now. Up to Theriault. Theriault can't chip that out. Caps trying to pick up the loose puck to the other side. Nice job there, moving their feet. They beat Agnew. Now back the other way. Agnew flicks that one over to Robichaud. Robichaud flicks it up to Martin. Martin sends that right on net, and that's loose for a half a second as Brewer bobbled that one, but he had lots of time to recover. Well, the Caps are pressing, they're looking, they're using their mojo to try to squeak one more good chance before this period ends to at least tie things up. Will the Hawks have something to say about that? We'll see. Hawks able to win this draw. Back up to the point, and Brewer thought he had that in his glove, and that sort of trickled off behind him. Cormier trying to get a stick on that and keep it down low. Now Arsenault. He loses his battle. The Caps come back out with it. They put that on goal, and Richford's going to have to cover up that as Caps come crashing down hard. Caps able to win the draw. Back to the point. Shot deflected up high and over the net. Millier tries to feed that one, but not out. Up to the point now. Caps send that through a bunch of bodies, and that just played Plinko. Ended up in the corner. As the Caps have had a couple good chances from the point with some deflections that have just gone wide. Boudreau able to apply good pressure. There's the send out front, quick shot. Oh, that just missed. Cormier. That was a great chance. The Hawks have had a couple really good golden chances like that, but just unable to finish it off. That one's chipped in. Millier now behind the net. Caps first on it. They send it around. Arsenault now is going to try to chip that one out. Arsenault, second attempt up to Boudreau. Good job getting his stick on that, or that would have been an icing. Boudreau down low. As he comes back to get himself in play. Here come the Caps. Caps off the head of Robinson. He's not sure where that puck went. Cornette Patterson waits a little too long to make that pass, and the Caps able to keep it in. And here come the Caps. Great chance as they try to go through 5-hole. Richford the save as he stands his ground. Caps doing a great job back up to the point. D to D. Trying to feed that through traffic. Good job there. But here come the Caps moving up to... Here's a good chance by the Caps. Getting a quick shot just wide as... Lots of battles go on here, but Moncton gets tossed down there. Caps just winning some battles, being a little bit more physical here. That one's loose for a half a second. Casey able to find McPherson, a little trickle up front. He's going to try to get to his own puck. Can he get it? Tries to. Little workhorse almost got himself a good chance there. Guedette tries to get that in low, and that one's going to be a penalty call as Cornette Patterson gets crushed along the boards, probably boarding by the looks of that one. Cornette Patterson was a little bit too far from the boards when he got hit, and it is a boarding call. Those are the dangerous ones when you go flying forward and you got nothing but your head and your hands to stop you.
Fell backwards, like could have easily hit his head on the dasher there, so looks okay.
Well, it's only the 5th power play of the game. With 3:44, this is a big one here. Hawks able to get control. Guedette now has got some room, but there's only Boudreau in front of the net as both Cormier and Arsenault elect to stay up on the side. Back down to Cormier. Cormier's got some room to walk in. Down low, trying to find Guedette sneaking in. That was a good play. That one just took a second hop before Guedette could fire that one, but that was a good play as Guedette tried to sneak in on the far side. That's something our Hawks haven't done enough of, is use those D to sneak in like that. Nice to see them get a little creative. Boudreau tries to go through the skates, but the Caps will have none of that, and they send it down the ice. Richford sets it up for Guedette. Guedette up to Cormier. Cormier tries to find Arsenault. Arsenault going to try to wheel his way in. He tried to pass that to himself a little too far as Boudreau comes crashing in looking for that loose puck. And great battle here at the line, but that one finally ends up behind Guedette. Caps able to knock that down the ice. 1 minute to go here in the power play for the Hawks. 2:40 left in the game. That one's looked a little offside there, but the linesman allowed that one to happen. Guedette's down low. Arsenault. Arsenault tries to poke it over to Cormier. Cormier's got to be quick. Pops it up to Millier. Millier to Guedette. Guedette to Millier. Millier's got a lane. Can he fire it through? No, that goes wide. Guedette's down low now. Back to Arsenault behind the net. Arsenault to Cormier. I'd like to see Cormier walk a little bit. Make those people commit to somebody. Here's Cormier now. Shot right on. Deflected. Cadet down low. Arsenault behind the net. Right out front. That was loose for a half a second. Knocked down by Millier. Millier, quick shot. Deflects off a few players. 10 seconds to go here on the power play for the Hawks. Can they keep it in? Gonna have to be quick. Second attempt, but that'll do it. Caps able to kill off a valuable power play for the Hawks there. But that's exactly what they wanted, to not go down by another one. So the Caps survive. They got 1:30 to go in this game. As they walk in on a tested quick shot, that just goes wide. Hawks try to skate this one out. They're gonna have to be smart on their plays. Just dump and chase here. You don't want to be skating through bodies. Look for Brewer to head to the net or to the bench, as the Caps are all over them here. Just unable to make that pass.
Here comes Brewer.
Brewer's out. Caps got possession. 6-on-5, open net. Caps doing all they can to hold this puck in, settle things down. Caps now up high to Mullins. Mullins trying to fire through a bunch of bodies. That gets deflected down. It's still loose at front. Finally, to the corner, 40 seconds. Mullins from the point again. Quick shot. Another body. Able to deflect that. Patterson with a great hit. He sends that through the middle of the ice. And McPherson trying to get to it. It's loose. Casey trying to knock it down. McPherson. Keep the pressure on, boys. 20 seconds to go here. That one's moved up the boards. Robinson trying to hold his man off. Poke that one out. Finally. 10 seconds. One last ditch attempt. Hold that puck to the side. That one's knocked down. 4 seconds to go. Here comes St. Clair looking for a big hit, but in doing so, the man walks in. It's tipped wide. Hawks hold off. 2-1 win. And again, the Hawks able to win at home, not by much, but they do it again. That's 3 in a row in the last 2 weekends for the Hawks at home. The Hawks' next game will be Sunday, 2:15, as they head back to the Caps barn to take them on. So if you enjoyed this game, stay tuned and check in 2:15 on Sunday as we head to Freddie to take them on again. Thank you again, everybody who tuned in. We'll see you Sunday.